Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is Robert, and today I'm bringing to the full drop list for this week, which is week 9 of the full winter season. So there isn't really much to say. We've got another collaboration this week, and that's basically it. We obviously do have a couple of lookbook pieces that personally I think are pretty decent for once. So yeah, we're just going to get straight into this and let's go through the list. So yeah.
Okay, so getting straight into the list, obviously, we have 3 lookbook pieces to actually kick off the week. Actually, more than that, to be honest, because the list so far has quite a couple of them towards the top. So first and foremost, we're going to kick off with the Seiko alarm clock. Yeah, I've looked around, and as far as I can tell, the standard for this is like 22 to like 32 pounds. So Supreme, if you fit within that region or that range, maybe say like £35 or something like that, it's not that bad. But if I see like a £50-60 retail, I'm just going to be like, typical. From there we have 2 pieces that are side by side matching, obviously because they're part of a set, being the satin applique sweatpant and the hooded sweatshirt or hoodie. This is actually a piece more so aimed towards the sweatpant, that I've seen a lot of people want in the end, which, to be honest, yeah, it's plain and simple. It's a large Supreme spell out, decent colourways across the board. People want it. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are asking as well in relation to it, because some of the images that were posted were like 1 or 2 colourways where you couldn't really see things too clearly. Obviously, when you post some things or save things and post them, sometimes the quality dips, and it happens where people were just asking if they actually did have pockets and a back pocket, which I get, because yeah, when you look at like the black colorway, for instance, maybe even the red colorway sitting back, and the navy, you can't really see that too well. There's not really that difference where you're like, yeah, that's a pocket, and no, that isn't. But yeah, they do obviously have 2 pockets at the side and then just the back pocket, as you can see on this colorway. So yeah, personally, I think all of the colourways are great, like I said, and yeah, I don't know if I really want one of their sweatpants. I've been debating getting a pair of sweatpants for a while, whether it's from like Kith with their like Williams series, or whether it's Supreme, or whether it's Palace, or whether it's just a different brand entirely. I've been waiting to see as to what people say in terms of how soft or comfortable they are. I know that the Kith are extremely comfortable. I don't know about Supreme and Palace and such, so yeah, I'm sort of on that level where I'm like, what am I going to do? Also, in other news, has anyone seen the whole like Adidas splitting off from Kanye, or more so Yeezy, which ended with how things have been the past month? You know, they just came to their decision. So yeah, I was messaging people just to see like what the general thing would be, and it seems like they can probably still call things like Adidas Slide or Foam Runner, but they just can't use the Yeezy name anymore. But they retain like all of the design rights. So yeah, anyway, getting back onto the list, we have the slide keychain, which is a cool thing because you can change around the letters, you know, make them backwards, change around their order and everything like that. So yeah, it should be like the typical like 12 to 15 pound retail, I'd expect. Maybe they could push for like the premium ones, which are like 18 pounds, but that's about it. To be honest, by the time I upload this, the prices are probably already going to be out. So yeah, we then have an Intarsia short sleeve top. This is one of the pieces where I thought that the colourways were cool. I like the Brazil looking tone. I like the white, the blue and the black colourway. I'm not too much of a fan with like the purple and the brownish tone. But it's the one that really just messed with my eyes because of how it sits, or how it was sitting. It gives it that feeling of almost movement to it, which really throws my eyes off and throws me off in the end. So yeah, moving on from that, we're going to come on to the collaboration for this week, which is going to be the Dickies collaboration. A little hit and miss with people. Some pieces they like, some they don't. Some they've said are some of the like better ones that they've seen come out of the 2 brands like collaborating in the end. So yeah, we kick off with the sweater, which I think is nice, clean and simple. They haven't gone over the top. It's just simplistic, 2 logos, so you can't really go too wrong with that. So yeah. We then have the corduroy work jacket that they're releasing. Same sort of thing, 2 logos, plain and simple, 4 colourways. You can't really go wrong with it as an overall, and the colourways that they've chosen are pretty solid across the board, I would say. More so, I'd probably prefer like the blue or the royal and the black colourway, but I can also see like the sides to the brown and like the white. But yeah, I just prefer the first 2. We then have a reversible featherweight down puffer jacket. Personally in this, I think that the design is really cool. I think it is. I think it's great that they've got it. It's really cool. I just like the look of it. But as an overall, in terms of what would probably be more wearable, like the reversal to it probably looks more appealing than the piece itself. But obviously having that option to change to a full like design that covers everything is there, instead of just the option just to switch it around from like the color that you've got into another one that's just on the inside. So the only real difference that you'll see are obviously like the two mesh sort of parts to it. They're going to be like the pockets, I would say, and then the logo that's just on the jacket just changes from the inside at a higher position just to the bottom corner. So we then have two woven pieces this week, being the pattern camp cap and the pattern boonie. We then have the double knee corduroy work pant dropping as well. I'm not really a work pant person. I'm sure at some point I'll get into that like mindset of wearing them and thinking like, where have these been like all my life? But I'm not at that stage yet. So yeah, in terms of the camp caps, I like the designs to them. I think they're just simple and clean. I'm also prefer the more bright and vivid tones over the darker shades. But I think that, to be honest, when it comes to more so like full winter time of year, the darker shades are going to be like more worn than the lighter tones. So yeah, even though my personal preference is just towards the lighter. But anyway, we then have a beanie as well. You know how I am with beanies, I'm a sucker for them. But the only thing is alongside this Dickies beanie, we have the Rose beanie. Now, although it hasn't got the best support in the world, I mean, both of them don't really have the best support, if I'm being real. I would probably more so prefer to wear the Rose beanie just because of the full design that goes around it, instead of just the logo and logo, you know, front and back. They do this quite often when it comes to some collaboration ones. We've had the Nike one in the past, and we've also had some North Face ones doing the same sort of thing where you've got a logo front, logo back. That's basically it. It doesn't go too far past that. But when it comes to a beanie like this, where it's just two simple colours, sometimes three, obviously because of the text colour choice or the font colour choice, I don't know, I just prefer it as an overall. I don't really know which colourway I'd prefer. I would probably say it'd be middle to the left, so you're going with this blue or baby blue, the black and the green tone. I just think they're better overall. The other two I feel like just get dirty and stained quite easily, and it's just not really worth it. But yeah, that's just how I feel about them. So yeah, I could just be going for a beanie this week. Depending, I mean, I don't really need an alarm clock. I've got things to wake me up anyway. So yeah, let's get into the pieces that aren't really doing too well this week, or aren't really, you know, the most appreciated. So we're going with the corduroy meshback 5-panel. Yeah, no, I'm just moving on to the corduroy overalls. I think these are solid. Overalls, I've always thought that with Supreme, people, it's like a love-hate thing. You might have one that people absolutely adore and then the next one they hate. I think these aren't too bad. And yeah, I don't know how people go about like doing double corduroy, whether or not people do that. But regardless, I think they're not the worst. So yeah, we then have the Skulls zip-up hoodie. I'm not a zip-up hoodie fan, but I do like the Skulls design that they had this season. It just doesn't really translate that well onto this zip-up. We then have the Dickies thermal, which I think is perfectly fine. Obviously, compared to some thermals we've had, you know, we've had some more interesting ones, but I still think this is clean and simple. I prefer the right colourway over the left one because I can't really see Supreme on this one in comparison. So yeah, maybe I'm just blind, I can't see it, but unless it's meant to be like there, then I can't really tell. We then have the Nothing But beanie and the studded work shirt. I'm not really a fan of the work shirt, just purely because of the studded, and with the Nothing But beanie, as you can see, it just says nothing but the best, and then the standard of when it was established and trademark, you know, just, yeah. Colorways are quite simple, but it's just not really the best. Nothing but the best, but it is not the best this week. So that is going to cover the drop list overall. Yeah, there isn't really much to say. Personally for me, I think that a lot of people are going to go for like the top 3 or like top 4 pieces. There are going to be some here and there hitting or going for the Dickies collab, but other than that, I don't really think a lot of people are going to go for items towards the latter half. The Rose beanie sort of stands out to me, but at the same time, I might check to see what other beanies they've left for the season, because there's a limit to how many I will have in the end. Like at one point I had like 20 beanies and it was just a bit too much, so I've cut down since then. But yeah, but that is going to cover this video anyway. As per normal, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you're going to be going for, whether you signed up for the in-store or not. And yeah, that's about it. So there isn't really much else to say, to be honest. So I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.